A pleasant good afternoon to all of you from Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium at Lynn Cottrell Park on the campus of UNG. Welcome to historic Dahlonega, Georgia, where doubleheader Peach Belt Conference softball is on the air. We've got a great matchup today between the top two teams in the Peach Belt. It's the visiting Cougars from Columbus State University taking on the #1 ranked team in the nation, the Nighthawks from North Georgia. And good afternoon, everyone. Rob DiClemente here along with the rest of the Nighthawk Sports Network crew. We're glad to have you with us on this Easter Sunday. We are underway here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill between the 1-2 punch in the Peach Belt Conference, North Georgia and Columbus State. And that pitch from Kristen Davis is going to be a strike. Counts 1-1. The Nighthawks are coming off of possibly their toughest matchup of the regular season against the 5th-ranked team in the nation, Alabama Huntsville. Even with a doubleheader between the top two of the top 5 teams in the country, North Georgia took care of business rather easily, winning on the road Game 1 10-2 and Game 2 4-0. And the count's now going to be 1-2. One of the highlights from that series being the Swiss Army knife, Sophie Mooney, getting 5 hits, including an absolute bomb over center field in Game 1. And she held down the mound for North Georgia, coming in as relief for Delaney Heberlin. Meanwhile, the Cougars come into this one rolling, having won 9 of their last 10, including a series sweep over Flagler College this past weekend. And the count is 2-2 for Kennedy. And she swings and misses on that one as Davis gets the strikeout there to open things up in game number 1. And so now that's going to bring up Parker, Madeline Parker, into the batter's box for the first time this afternoon for Columbus State. And the Cougars series win over Flagler this past weekend saw a lot of veteran players on the team see a lot of success, which of course can be crucial come playoff time as we head into the final stretch of the regular season. And a matchup between the 1-2 punch and the PBC, we should be in for plenty of action and fun this afternoon. Again, we're glad you've decided to join us here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Counts 1-1 for Parker. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's going to be outside. Now 2-1. Madeline Parker with a .313 batting average this season. She started all 33 games for the Cougars this season. And her 99 at-bats, she's got 31 hits, scored 28 runs with 14 RBIs as that pitch is going to be outside. Counts 3-1. So we'll see what Parker can do here in her 100th appearance at the plate this season. And the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be grounded over to short, and the throw to first. Well on time for out number 2 here in the top of the first. And that's going to bring up Hannah Rose Corbin, who has been an absolute superstar for this Columbus State team this season. She's got a .465 batting average. She's got 46 hits, 10 home runs, and 35 RBIs this season. And she sees a strike go by him there from Kristen Davis. Counts 0-1. As we mentioned, Hannah Rose Corbin, one of the highlights on this very well-coached Columbus State team. Would not be surprised to see her pitch at some point either today or tomorrow as well. She's a Swiss Army knife for this Columbus State team. She's got a 2.72 ERA when she's on the mound. She's 14-7 this season. Held her batters to a .209 batting average. And she sees a ball go by her there from Kristen Davis. Counts 2-1. Nighthawks trying to get a quick 3 up, 3 down here at the top of the batting order. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be popped high over the net. and into foul territory. Looks like it hit the pole here with the 2015 NCAA National Champions flag on it. So the count moves to 2-2. Deuces are running wild. Davis getting the start on the mound for North Georgia this afternoon. The junior out of Calhoun, Georgia, has been terrific this season. And the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be just outside for ball number 3. The Nighthawks faithful here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill thought that was going to be strike number 3, but the count runs full. Cougars do not have a runner on. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be grounded near the Cougars bullpen. Count stays full. North Georgia trying to prevent Corbin from walking to first. She's got Ambrose on deck. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt for ball number 4, and so that's going to walk Corbin to first. So that's going to bring up Elise Ambrose into the batter's box for Columbus State. Elise Ambrose this season with a .321 batting average. And there are 112 appearances at the plate. She has 36 runs, 13 home runs, and 47 RBIs. And both those home runs and RBIs are the best on this team. She says a strike go by her there, 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch. Going to be just outside, now 1-1. Ambrose has got Harris on deck, followed by Kenzie Bayer, Brooke Miller, Grace Kaiser, and Caitlin Cooper, rounding out the batting order for Columbus State. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be low and outside, 2-1. We've got a great crowd here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. Got some fans over in the deck in the outfield. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to cut it close for ball number 3. So now Nighthawks are going to have a bit of a conversation here on the mound. Making sure this infield's on the same page, with Ambrose in the batter's box with a 3-1 count. Another ball would put runners on first and second for Harris, so North Georgia has to be careful here. Got some Columbus State fans in attendance as well, making the 2.5-hour drive down to Dahlonega, Georgia. Of course, the Nighthawks faithful roaring loud and proud here at Lynn Cottrell Park. And the 3-1 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be inside. Counts 3-2. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be grounded right to the second baseman, Hannah Forehand, bringing us to the bottom of the second. Nighthawks faithful roaring here, as that's going to take us to the bottom of the first. Jolie Lesser is going to lead things off when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
She has her whole life in front of her and already has a world-class heart team behind her. And so does every generation of her family, thanks to Georgia Heart Institute. Every day, our cardiologists, heart surgeons, and vascular surgeons bring breakthroughs that save and improve lives for generations. So whether you need heart care today or in 2073, we'll be here with the very best for your heart. Georgia Heart Institute.
Meet Harper. Harper was born to care and always had your back. Like the time she spotted a friend's rogue retainer, a threat of a permanent overbite, and made the save just in time.
I got you. Thanks.
Today, Harper still has your back as a teammate at Truist, the bank with Truist One checking.
I got you. Thanks.
With no overdraft fees, a negative balance buffer, and automatic upgrades, it's the checking account that has your back.
Back with you here in historic Dahlonega, Georgia, where we've got the Nighthawks versus the Cougars and a clash between the top two teams in Peach Belt softball. And Jolie Lesser is going to lead things off for North Georgia in the bottom of the first. Here's what the rest of head coach Mike Davenport's squad looks like for their batting order. We've got Jolie Lester, Maddie Perry, Sophie Mooney, Hannah Forehand batting cleanup, followed by Olivia Sinkfield, Sydney Blair, Mariah Wicker, Georgia Blair, and Gracie Mixon rounding out the batting order for the Nighthawks. And Lester sees a ball go by her there on her first pitch of the afternoon. Haley Folds getting the start on the mound for Columbus State. And the 1-0 pitch to Lester. That one's going to be inside. Count moves to 1-1. Jolie Lester this season with a .386 batting average, 51 hits, and 22 RBIs when she's been at the plate this season. The sophomore is looking for her first home run of the 2022-2023 season. Counts 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch to Lester. That one's going to be grounded to short. And the throw to first. Going to be there on time for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. And that's going to bring up Maddie Perry. Perry this season with a .434 batting average. She's got 43 hits this season, 11 RBIs, and she's got a home run under her belt as well. This is her 100th appearance at the plate for North Georgia this season. And she sees a strike go by her there. Counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch to Perry. Going to be outside. Now 1-1 count for the junior. And Haley Folds this season with a 3.75 ERA. She's allowed 55 hits and 33 runs. And that pitch from Folds is going to be way outside. Count moves to 2-1. Folds has also struck out 51 batters this season, allowed 6 home runs. Held her opponents to a .272 batting average. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Perry. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. So the count moves to 2-2. This Columbus State team is short-handed in the bullpen with just Hannah Rose Corbin, Jessica Lopez, and Haley Folds on the roster. And the 2-2 pitch to Perry. That one's going to be grounded to short as well. Throw to first well on time for out number 2. And so that's going to bring up Sophie Mooney, the Swiss Army knife for North Georgia, stepping into the batter's box for the first time this evening. Mooney with a .452 batting average in her 124 appearances at the plate. She's got 56 hits, 40 RBIs. And she's got 6 homers as well. She sees a ball go by her there. Count's going to be 1-0. Mooney, a junior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, transfer out of Georgia State. Has been such a great addition to this North Georgia team this season. As that pitch is going to tip off the glove of the catcher, Kaiser. So the count's going to be 2-0 as Kaiser and Folds will have a conversation on the mound, try to get on the same page here. Cougars also trying to get a quick 3 and out here. And the 2-0 pitch to Mooney. That one's going to be inside for a strike, 2-1. Mooney's got the cleanup batter, Hannah forehand on deck. We'll see if Folds has something to say about that. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Going to be outside. Count moves to 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch to Mooney. That one's going to be outside for ball number 4, and so Mooney's going to make her way to first, and here comes Hannah forehand. Forehand with a .357 batting average this season. Her 98 appearances at the plate. She's got 35 hits, scored 30 runs, 52 RBIs, and 10 home runs. Those 10 home runs, the most on this North Georgia team. Same with those RBIs. And that pitch is going to get away from the catcher and advance Mooney to second. So North Georgia with some great plate discipline here, taking advantage of a few wild pitches from Folds. Forehand showing bunt here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Going to be outside, or inside, excuse me, counts 1-1. Forehand's probably the last player that Folds wants to see with runners on base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. Count moves to 1-2. Forehand's got Sinkfield on deck. Runner on second, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. And the 1-2 pitch to forehand. That one's going to be grounded, and that's going to get past Folds. But the throw to first is on time for out number 3. And so through 1 inning, we are scoreless. We'll head to the top of the second for more North Georgia Columbus State action when we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story, we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
Back with you here in Dahlonega as we head to the top of the second. It's still a 0-0 ball game here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. The count's 0-1 for Harris. Laura Harris this season has a .367 batting average in her 98 appearances at the plate. She's got 36 hits, 4 homers, and 23 RBIs, and she finds herself in a 1-1 count against Kristen Davis. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Harris. Going to be outside. Count moves to 2-1. Some of the North Georgia fans not too pleased with that call. And the 2-1 pitch from Davis. That one's going to cut it close. Count moves to 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be low for ball number 4, and so Harris is going to be walked to first to open up the second.
Number 24.
And that's going to bring up Kenzie Bayer. Bayer with a .369 batting average in her 103 appearances at the plate. She's got 38 hits, 28 runs scored. She's got 10 homers as well. That's tied for first on the team with Hannah Rose Corbin. She's also got 36 RBIs under her belt as well. She sees a strike go by her there, so the count's 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, that one's going to be in the dirt. So the count's going to move to 1-1. Got no outs here in the top of the second. Runner on first for Columbus State. And the 1-1 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. And we saw Harris make a break for second there. So the count's 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be tipped and fouled as well. So the count stays at 1-2. Bayer's got Brooke Miller on deck. Bayer shows bunt, the 1-2 pitch, and the steal attempt over at second. And she's not going to be tagged out as the Nighthawks weren't able to get the out there at second on the steal attempt. Perry was unable to corral that one in and get the tag. But still going to be a strikeout on Bayer. So Brooke Miller now in the batter's box for the Cougars. Miller with a .367 batting average this season. 33 hits, 7 homers, and 32 RBIs. As that pitch from Davis is going to be outside. Counts 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be outside as well. Counts 2-0. Again, we're glad you all have decided to join us on this Easter Sunday. And the 2-0 pitch. And that one's going to be outside, and so it's a 3-0 count. Again, the North Georgia faithful here not too pleased with that call from our vantage point. It looked like it could have gone either way. And the 3-0 pitch, that one's going to be inside. Count moves to 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be inside. So it's a full count for Miller. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be swung on and missed. And Davis getting the strikeout on Miller. Bringing us to 2 outs here in the top of the first. And Grace Kaiser now up to bat for Columbus State. Kaiser this season with a 156 batting average. She's got just 1 hit. Or excuse me, 7 hits this season with 3 RBIs as well. She's looking for her first home run of the season. She sees a strike go by her there. She tips that one fouled over the Nighthawks dugout. And so Kaiser now finds herself in a quick 0-2 count. As Davis gets a new ball there. Kaiser shows bunt. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be outside of the zone for a ball. Blair trying to plead her case there. Does not look like she's going to win that one. Counts 1-2. And the pitch to Kaiser. That one's going to be swung on and missed. And Davis with another strikeout this evening. And that's going to take us to the bottom of the second. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Bryan Properties is a commercial real estate brokerage firm serving Northeast Georgia. Located in nearby Cumming, Georgia, Bryan Properties specializes in commercial real estate along the Georgia 400 corridor. For more information on Bryan Properties, visit bryanproperties.net. The UNG bookstore is operated by Barnes & Noble and is located in the Chastity Building beside Starbucks in downtown Dahlonega. Fans and students can visit in person or online at ung.bncollege.com for all your Nighthawk apparel and textbook needs for the upcoming season.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it is still scoreless. As we head to the bottom of the second, Olivia Sinkfield going to lead things off for North Georgia. Sinkfield this season with a .233 batting average. She's got 24 hits, a homer, and 16 RBIs under her belt this season. She sees a ball go by her there from Folds, counts 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch to Sinkfield. That one's going to be inside. Counts 1-1. Of course, being the #1 team in Division II softball, it's no surprise to see North Georgia with the best stats at the plate in the PBC. As a team, they're batting .372 this season. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Sinkfield. That one's going to be low. Count moves to 2-1. With that .372 batting average, they've got 404 hits, 296 RBIs, and 37 home runs. And the 2-1 pitch to Sinkfield, that one's going to be outside. The count moves to 3-1. And North Georgia has outscored their opponents this season 338-72, in what is just an absurd stat. That .372 batting average is also the 3rd best in the nation. And the 3-1 pitch to Sinkfield. She grounds that one over the third baseman's head. And that's going to be a base hit for Olivia Sinkfield, the first hit of the evening for North Georgia. And here comes the freshman, Sydney Blair, out of Peachtree City, Georgia. Sydney Blair has been on a tear this season for North Georgia. She's got a .483 batting average. That leads the Nighthawks. This is her 90th appearance at the plate this season for North Georgia. She's got 43 hits, 17 RBIs. She sees a strike go by her there. Counts 0-1. Blair was named the Peach Belt Conference Freshman of the Week just a couple of weeks ago. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. She tips that one foul near the Cougars' dugout. So Blair now finds herself in a quick 0-2 count. And the 0-2 pitch to Blair. Gonna be outside. Count now goes to 1-2. Blair's got Mariah Wicker on deck. And the 1-2 pitch to Blair. That one's gonna be tipped and fouled behind the plate. Count's gonna stay at 1-2. And anything down in the outfield would be sure to score Sinkfield. Even on first. Sinkfield's got wheels on here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be way outside. So the count moves to 2-2. Blair is the leader in the Peach Belt Conference in batting average as well. And the 2-2 pitch to Blair. That one's going to be well outside. And the steal attempt from Sinkfield over to second. She's going to slide in with ease. And that steal right there from Olivia Sinkfield is the career steals record here at North Georgia. So a big congratulations to Olivia Sinkfield. I'm sure she will tally on more throughout the course of today and tomorrow. And that's going to be ball number 4 to Sydney Blair. So that's going to put runners on first and second for Mariah Wicker, stepping up into the batter's box for the first time this afternoon. Mariah's got a .345 batting average this season, 30 hits, 5 homers, and 23 RBIs under her belt this season. We'll see if she can add to that total here with runners on first and second. And she sees a ball go past her there. Counts 1-0. And Kaiser and Corbin are going to have a conversation here on the mound along with the rest of this Cougar squad. Head coach Brad Huckison talking things over with his team. In dangerous territory here with no outs in the bottom of the second. And runners on first and second for North Georgia. And North Georgia players lighting up the top 10 in statistical categories in the PBC this season. Just to name a few, as we mentioned, Sydney Blair leading the conference with a mind-boggling .483 batting average, with Perry, Mooney, and Lester in the top 10 as well. Hannah Forehand leading the conference with 52 RBIs. And Sophie Mooney not too far behind her. And 4 Nighthawks in the top 10 in hits and stolen bases. We will resume play here at Lynn Cottrell Park. Counts 1-0 for Mariah Wicker. And that pitch going to be outside. Counts 2-0. And Mariah Wicker is known for her speed, but you can't forget about her power as well. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And that one's going to be outside, and so it's a 3-0 count for Mariah Wicker. Do not expect to see her swing here unless she gets an absolute perfect pitch from Corbin. And the 3-0 pitch, going to be inside, so it's a 3-1 count for Mariah Wicker. She's got Georgia Blair on deck. And another ball from Corbin would load the bases for Blair. And the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt for ball number 4. So now runners on all the bags for North Georgia. Bases loaded for Georgia Blair. Blair this season with a .306 batting average, 26 hits, 26 RBIs, and 2 homers this season. And that pitch to Blair going to be outside. Counts 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch to Blair. That one's also going to be outside. Counts 2-0. Nighthawks have shown some great plate discipline so far. And the 2-0 pitch to Blair. That one's going to cut it close for ball number 3. And so another ball thrown from Corbin here is going to put a run on the board for North Georgia. Don't expect to see Blair swing here. And the 3-0 pitch. That one's going to be outside of the zone for ball number 4. And so the Nighthawks able to notch a run on the board. They're up 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Bases are still loaded, and here comes Gracie Mixon. Mixon this season with a .375 batting average. She started all 40 games for North Georgia this season. She's got 33 hits, 31 RBIs, and 7 homers. And that pitch is going to be inside, counts 0-1. Those 7 home runs is good for second on this North Georgia team, behind Hannah Forehand with 10. So Forehand has scored in she's got a home run in a fourth of these North Georgia games. And Mixon swings and misses on that one, counts 0-2. Mixon rounding out the batting order for North Georgia. And the 0-2 pitch to Mixon. That one's going to be outside, counts 1-2. Got Blair on third, Mariah Wicker on second, and Georgia Blair on first. So Blairs are on the corners here. The 1-2 pitch, that one's going to be grounded up the left field line, but foul territory. So the count stays at 1-2. And if that stayed in play, that would have been enough to score at least 2 Nighthawk runs there, as Blair would have scored at third, and Mariah Wicker would have shown her speed, able to make it home as well. And the 1-2 pitch to Mixon. That one's going to be in the dirt, and Blair is going to make a run for it home, and she's going to be safe. So the heads-up play from Sydney Blair is going to add another run on the board for North Georgia. They go up 2-0 early here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. And so the count's 2-2 for Gracie Mixon. Get the double P signs from the home plate ump. And the 2-2 pitch to Mixon. That's going to be outside as well. Now it's a full count for the junior, Gracie Mixon. Mixon has been a stud over at third base for North Georgia as well all season long. As we mentioned earlier, she started every single game for North Georgia this season. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. Mixon doing a great job battling here. Counts full. And another ball from Corbin would load the bases for Jolie Lester, as the Nighthawks can return to the top of their batting order. And the full count pitch to Mixon. That one's going to be driven into right foul territory. Mixon still alive here. Working at the plate, count's still full. Still no outs in the bottom of the second. And the full count pitch. That's going to be outside for ball number 4. So again, here in the bottom of the second, bases are loaded. No outs. And here comes Jolie Lester. And it looks like North Georgia's going to have a pinch runner here.
Number 6, Jolie Lester.
And that's going to be Cosgrove taking over for Georgia Blair at second. And so now North Georgia's got 2 speedsters on base in Cosgrove and Wicker. And Jolie Lester back up to bat for North Georgia. And she sees a ball go by her there, counts 1-0. This Columbus State defense has struggled a bit here in the bottom of the second. The 1-0 pitch to Lester. That one's going to be inside. Nice pitch there from Corbin. Moves the count to 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Lester. Outside, counts 2-1. North Georgia's had great plate discipline to open up this one. And the 2-1 pitch. That one is swung on hard and missed from Jolie Lester, so the count moves to 2-2. That was a hard swing there from Lester. If she was able to get a hold of that one, there's no telling how far that one would have gone. And the 2-2 pitch to Lester. She swings and misses on that one. So Corbin gets the strikeout there on Lester, bringing us to the first out here in the bottom of the second. And here comes Maddie Perry. Perry grounded out in her first appearance at the plate this evening. Bases are still loaded here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. She sees a strike go by her there. Counts 0-1. And the 1-0 pitch. Going to be outside. Counts now 1-1. North Georgia trying to capitalize here with the bases loaded. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And that one's going to be outside as well. It's a 2-1 count. And another ball thrown from Corbin here. Notch another run on the board for North Georgia. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. And that one's going to be tipped and fouled. That's going to go over the net. Count moves to 3-1. And Perry's got Sophie Mooney on deck. And the 3-1 pitch to Perry. That one's going to be tipped and fouled as well in the same direction. So the count is full for Maddie Perry. And with Cosgrove and Wicker on second and third, anything down in the outfield is sure to put 2 more runs up on the board for North Georgia. And here comes the full count pitch. And that's going to be inside, and Corbin getting the strikeout there. And here comes Sophie Mooney, the designated hitter for North Georgia this afternoon. A Swiss Army knife for North Georgia, whether she's been at the plate or on the mound, even filling in at first base at times. She's been terrific this season. And that pitch from Corbin's going to be low. Counts 1-0. This would be a big out here for Corbin. She's able to get the strikeout on Mooney and leave runners stranded on all the bags for North Georgia. The 1-0 pitch to Mooney. That one's going to be grounded to the short. And the flip to second on time, but that's going to score no runs for North Georgia, as that's going to bring us to the top of the third. But the Nighthawks lead this game 2-0. When we return, you're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's a 2-0 ball game. North Georgia on top, leading Columbus State. And Columbus State at the bottom of their batting order here with Caitlin Cooper. Mound's popped high into left field, and that's going to be a routine play there for Jolie Lester, bringing us to the first out in the top of the third. And so now Columbus State returning to the top of their batting order with Caitlin Kennedy.
Number 1, Caitlin Kennedy.
And Kennedy was struck out on her first appearance at the plate this evening. She sees a ball go by her there. Now it's going to be inside for a strike. Yeah, the 0-1 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be inside as well. Great pitch there from Kristen Davis. Makes it an 0-2 count. And just like at the plate, on the mound, the Nighthawks have also been the best team in the Peach Belt in that category. And the 0-2 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be grounded to forehand, and the throw to first well on time for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Madeline Parker, who's 0 for 1 this evening. She grounded out on her first appearance at the plate.
Number 5, Madeline Parker.
North Georgia pitchers have allowed just 146 hits, 72 runs, and just 9 home runs this season. They've also pitched 15 shutouts and held their opponents to a 161 batting average. So the count's 0-1. And just to put into perspective how dominant North Georgia pitching has been, the team with the closest stat is Georgia Southwestern, allowing 29 home runs, which is 20 more than North Georgia, and an opposing 240 batting average. So it's safe to say that the runs are few and far between when teams face this North Georgia squad. The count's 0-2 for Parker. She shows bunt here, pulls back. Now it's going to be outside. Counts 1-2. Davis was voted a Peach Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week earlier this season. Parker showing bunt. Now one's outside. Count moves to 2-2. Deuces are running wild here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the third. No runners on for the Cougars. And the 2-2 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be outside, and so the count's now full for Parker. And the full count pitch from Davis. That one's going to be tipped and fouled back towards the net. Count stays full. Cougars have had great plate discipline all season long, with 4 players ranking in the top 10 in walks in the Peach Belt Conference. And the full count pitch to Parker. That one's going to be outside for ball number 4. So that's going to put a runner on first for Hannah Rose Corbin.
Number 18, Hannah Rose Corbin.
Hannah Rose Corbin, the designated player for Columbus State this evening. And she sees a ball go by her there. Counts 1-0. Cougars have been lighting up the stat sheet as well, specifically Hannah Rose Corbin, who ranks in the top 10 in batting average, runs scored, hits, RBIs, and home runs, just to name a few. Just like North Georgia, Columbus State with 4 players of their own ranking in the top 10 in stolen bases. And so, with 8 of the 10 quickest players seeing action today, I can only assume that we'll be seeing plenty of action on the bags this afternoon. The count's 1-0 for Corbin. And the 1-0 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be swung on and missed. Count moves to 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be inside as well. Great pitch there from Davis. Moves the count to 1-2. Davis has allowed just 30 hits this season. 16 runs scored. She's got 80 strikeouts. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's another strikeout for Kristen Davis. Taking us to the bottom of the third. Nighthawks still up 2-0. We'll see if they can extend their lead when we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
United Logistics is a veteran-owned and relationship-driven company with a goal of being an integral part of the community, providing safe transportation and shipping solutions, and being recognized as one of the leading providers of transportation nationwide. Visit unitedlogistics.net for more information. Walton & Company Realty is dedicated to serving you with all of your real estate needs. Their team of professionals will help you with everything from transaction coordination, marketing, and representing you as a buyer or seller, and has a goal of making your transaction run as smoothly as possible. For more information, visit waltonco.com.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's a 2-0 ball game. North Georgia on top, and Columbus State making an early pitching substitution here. Now on the mound for the Cougars is Hannah Rose Corbin. And Corbin was the last player on the plate for Columbus State to end the top of the third. So Corbin's got a busy day here in game one. Corbin this season has allowed 93 hits, 51 runs. She's got 141 strikeouts under her belt, which is absolutely absurd. She's also held her opponents to a .209 batting average, but she's going to have to face off against Hannah Forehand in her first matchup of the evening. And that pitch is going to be in the dirt. Counts 1-0. Forehand showing bunt. She pulls back and sees a strike go by her there. Counts 1-1. Forehand grounded out on her first appearance at the plate. And the 1-1 pitch to forehand. And that one's going to be inside. Count moves to 1-2. Corbin's definitely got her work cut out for her today. And the 1-2 pitch to forehand. That one's going to go over the head of forehand. So the count's going to move to 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch to forehand, that's also going to be in the dirt. So the count's full for Hannah Forehand. We mentioned earlier this Columbus State team with just 3 pitchers on their roster, and Corbin, Lopez, and Folds. Here comes the full count pitch. And that one's going to be popped high and over the press box. So the count stays full. Forehand showing bunt again. Here comes the full count pitch, and that one's going to be grounded into foul territory. Nice fielding there from Coach Davenport. Coach Davenport this season has surpassed 1,000 career wins in what has been a legendary career here at North Georgia. Full count pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt, and so forehand's going to be walked to first. And here comes Olivia Sinkfield. Sinkfield's got the only hit for North Georgia in this one. Nighthawks find themselves up 2-0, taking advantage of some errant pitching from Corbin with the bases loaded. And Sinkfield bunts here, but it's going to roll into foul territory. Counts 0-1. Sinkfield's got a runner on first and forehand. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and she bunts again. That one's going to hit the top of the press box this time. So the count's 0-2 for Olivia Sinkfield. Nighthawks trying to get the bats warmed up here a bit. Sinkfield looking for her second hit of the afternoon. And the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be low. Count's going to move to 1-2. She's got Sydney Blair on deck. And the 1-2 pitch to Sinkfield. And the steal attempt there from forehand. In a second, she's going to be out. So that's going to bring us to first out here in the bottom of the third. Make that 2 outs in the bottom of the third as Sinkfield was struck out. Cindy Blair stepping into the batter's box for North Georgia. Forehand trying to plead her case there, but she was tagged out before she was able to get on base, and Blair sees a strike go by her there. The count's 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. Count now moves to 0-2. And Blair's got Mariah Wicker on deck. Sydney was walked in her first appearance at the plate. And the 0-2 pitch to Blair. That one's going to be grounded near the Columbus State dugout. Count stays at 0-2. Got 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. North Georgia trying to extend their lead early here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt. Count moves to 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch to Blair. That one's going to be in the dirt as well. So deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. See a little bit of fatigue here from Corbin. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Blair, and that one's going to be tipped and fouled near the Cougars' dugout. Count stays at 2-2. No runners on for North Georgia. And the 2-2 pitch to Blair. That one's going to be low as well. So Blair's able to work her way into a full count here. And the full count pitch. Going to be outside for ball number 4, and so Blair's going to make her way to first. Mariah Wicker is going to step up into the batter's box for North Georgia.
Number 11, Mariah
Wicker was also walked in her first appearance at the plate. Wicker, the junior outfielder out of Buford, Georgia. Sees a strike go by her there, counts 0-1. Mariah trying to extend this inning here. She's got Georgia Blair on deck. And the 0-1 pitch, going to be outside. Counts 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Mariah. That one's going to be tipped and fouled behind her. Count goes to 1-2. Again, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Runner on first in Blair. And the 1-2 pitch. Going to be in the dirt, and the steal attempt there from Sydney over to second. She's going to slide in safely. And the count's going to move to 2-2 for Mariah Wicker. But now anything down in the outfield should be enough to score Blair now that she's on second. And the 2-2 pitch to Mariah. She swings and misses on that one. So Corbin getting the strikeout there, leaving the runner stranded on second. And that's going to take us to the 4th. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Here in Dahlonega, we treasure our history.
We treasure our waterfalls.
We treasure our wine.
But most of all, we treasure our guests.
We are a family.
We treasure our community.
And we're an experience for you to discover.
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 The heart of the Georgia mountains.
The heart of the Georgia mountains.
Discover the heart of the Georgia mountains.
Back with you here in Dahlonega on this Easter Sunday, where it's still a 2-0 ball game. North Georgia on top of the Cougars, with Ambrose leading things off for Columbus State. Ambrose 0 for 1 this evening. She sees a ball go by her there, counts 1-0. Another ball there from Kristen Davis pushes the count to 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch from Davis, that one's going to be grounded right to Mixon, and the throw to first on time for the first out here in the top of the fourth. And that's going to bring up Harris. Laura Harris was walked in her first appearance this evening at the plate. We've got some more fans filing in here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. Some North Georgia men's basketball players in attendance. Specifically Frank Champion, who is the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year this season. And the 1-0 pitch to Harris, going to be inside. Counts 1-1. Cougars looking for their first hit of the evening. And the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be grounded up the left field line, and Mixon is going to try to make the throw to first, and it's not going to be there on time. And so Columbus State does get their first hit of the evening from Harris. After that, the grounder up the left field line. It looked like it was going to go and roll into foul territory, but it stayed fair. Mixon tried to make a play on it, but she was unable to make the throw to first on time. So that's going to bring up Bayer, who is 0 for 1 this evening. She was struck out by Kristen Davis last time she was at the plate. And so Davis and Blair are going to have a bit of a conversation here, try to get back on the same page. So it looks like Blair just going up there to the mound, calm down her pitcher. We've got just one out in the top of the fourth, a runner on first for Columbus State. And that pitch from Davis is going to be outside of the zone, counts 1-0. We mentioned earlier the Cougars with 4 players ranking in the top 10 in walks in the Peach Belt Conference. So this team has had great play discipline all season long. And that pitch from Davis is going to be a strike inside the zone, counts 1-1, or 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Going to be outside. Count now moves to 3-1. Davis, the junior out of Calhoun, Georgia, has been a stud on the mound for North Georgia this season. And the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be inside for a strike. And North Georgia getting the out there at second. Heads up play there from Blair to make the throw to second on time. And so now there's no runners on for Columbus State with a full count for Bayer. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be swung on and missed. And another strikeout for Kristen Davis as she continues to pile those on this season. We're going to head to the bottom of the fourth. When we come back, you're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
in Dahlonega, we treasure our history.
We treasure our waterfalls.
We treasure our wine.
But most of all, we treasure our guests.
We are a family.
We treasure our community.
And we're an experience for you to discover.
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 The heart of the Georgia mountains.
The heart of the Georgia mountains.
Discover the heart of the Georgia mountains.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's still a 2-0 ball game. North Georgia on top of Columbus State. Georgia Blair leading things off for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the fourth. And Blair had that heads-up play to make the throw to second, closing out the top of the fourth to get the out on the steal attempt from Harris. And Blair sees a ball go by her there, so the count's 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch to Blair. That one's going to be low and outside for ball number 2. Blair, a junior out of Douglasville, Georgia. Here comes the 2-0 count, and that one's going to be outside. It's now 3-0 for Georgia Blair. Not expect to see her swing here. Blair, a junior on this North Georgia squad with a lot of veteran leadership. And the 3-0 pitch. That one's going to be inside of the zone for a strike. Counts 3-1 now for Georgia Blair. Blair's got Mixon on deck, who rounds out the batting order for North Georgia. And the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be swung on hard and missed by Georgia Blair, so the count's full. Nighthawks still looking to get the bats warmed up here. And the full count pitch to Blair. That one's going to be grounded and off the glove of Corbin, and the throw to first is going to be there on time. Blair sliding into first. It was almost safe, but the throw to first base to Bayer was just there on time. So that's going to bring up Gracie Mixon. Mixon was walked in her first appearance at the plate this evening. What a luxury it is to have Mixon rounding out the batting order for this North Georgia squad. She's got the second most home runs on this team. She sees a strike go by her there. The count's 0-1. Mixon responsible for 7 of the 37 North Georgia home runs this season. She tips this one fouled. That one may have gone off of a foot. So the count's 0-2 for Gracie Mixon. She's got Jolie Lester on deck. The Nighthawks able to return to the top of their batting order. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And Mixon swings and misses on that one. So another strikeout for Corbin. That's going to bring up Jolie Lester. Lester 0 for 2 today. She struck out and grounded out on her 2 appearances at the plate. this evening for the Nighthawks. And that pitch from Corbin's going to be outside, counts 1-0. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth, no runners on for North Georgia. And the 1-0 pitch to Lester, that one's going to be outside. Counts 2-0. Cougars trying to get a quick 3 up, 3 down here to bring us to the fifth. And the 2-0 pitch to Lester. She tips this one fouled near the Columbus State dugout. Count goes to 2-1. North Georgia and Columbus State, the top 2 teams in the Peach Belt Conference. North Georgia, of course, ranked the #1 team in the nation. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And Lester's going to swing and miss on that one. Deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And the 2-2 pitch to Lester. That one's going to be outside. Count is now full for the sophomore Jolie Lester. And even with North Georgia being ranked as the #1 team in the country, everybody expected this one to be a barn burner. Here comes the full count pitch. That one's tipped high into left. And now it's going to drop for a base hit. And Jolie Lester is going to slide into second. And so the inning stays alive here for North Georgia. And Maddie Perry's going to get a crack at it here for the Nighthawks.
Number 14, Maddie Perry.
Perry's 0 for 2 this evening. She's also struck out and grounded out on her 2 appearances at the plate. We'll look to see if she can build off of some of that momentum from Lester. She sees a ball go by her there. Counts 1-0. And that pop fly from Lester looked like it was going to be a routine play for this Cougars infield. And that's going to be a strike there from Corbin. Counts 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Perry. Now it's going to be outside. Counts now 2-1. Perry looking for the first earned run of the evening for North Georgia. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. She swings and misses on that one. Yet again, Deuces running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Got Lester on second. And the 2-2 pitch to Perry. That one's going to be grounded to the short, and the throw to first well on time for out number 3. And that's going to take us to the fifth, where North Georgia's still up 2-0. We'll see how Columbus State responds when we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Moore's Lumber and Hardware has proudly served the homeowners and pro contractors of North Georgia since 1946. Located in Dahlonega, our covered drive-through lumber yard provides customers with both quality products and services. Rains Grading, a licensed excavating contractor located in Lumpkin County, provides both commercial and residential grading, hauling, and paving to the North Georgia area.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where Brooke Miller is going to lead things off for Columbus State. They find themselves down 2-0 through 4 innings of softball. And that pitch from Davis is going to be in the dirt. Counts 1-0. And Davis has been just terrific on the mound for North Georgia in this one, allowing just 1 hit for Columbus State, and she throws a strike there. Counts 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Davis. That one's going to be right down the middle for a strike. Count moves to 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be grounded over to the short, and the throw to Sinkfield at first on time for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. And that's going to bring up Kaiser, who was struck out on her first appearance at the plate this evening for Columbus State, so she'll be looking to get the bat warmed up here. And both of these teams have had a decent amount of time off to rest up and game plan for today, because Mother Nature had different plans for this matchup. It was moved down a couple of calendar days, and they happened to fall on this Easter Sunday. And Kaiser sees a ball there. It's a 1-0 count. And we're going to say that she not swing on that one, so it's a 2-0 count. Got 1 out here in the top of the 5th. No runners on for Columbus State. And that pitch from Davis is going to be outside as well. So it's a 3-0 count for Kaiser. Do not expect to see her swing here. And the 3-0 pitch to Kaiser. And that's going to be 4 straight balls thrown there from Kristen Davis. Going to put Kaiser on first. And Cooper back up to bat for Columbus State. And it looks like the Cougars are going to have a pinch runner over on first. And that's going to be Kristen Odom now on first base for the Cougars. And so we'll see what the Cougars can do here with a pinch runner now on first. 1 out in the top of the 5th. Cooper back up to bat. She's 0 for 1 so far. She bunts here, and that one is fouled. Goes off the glove of Blair. The count's going to be 0-1. Cooper rounding out the batting order for Columbus State. She's able to get on base. Cougars can return to the top of their batting order with Kennedy. And the 0-1 pitch from Davis. And that's going to go down as a strike or a ball. Counts 1-1. Looked like Cooper may have swung on that one. And that one's going to be tipped and fouled. Count moves to 1-2 as Davis and Blair going to have another quick conversation here. Try to get back on the same page. And the 1-2 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be inside for strike number 3. So Davis getting the strikeout on Cooper, bringing us to 2 outs at the top of the 5th. Kennedy back up to bat for Columbus State. Kennedy looking to get her bat warmed up here. She's 0 for 2. She's been struck out, and she grounded out on her 2 appearances at the plate. That's going to be another strike pitched there from Davis. Counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be grounded and stay fair. Davis will make the run up to the plate and try to make a throw to first, but it's not going to be able to get there. And so now runners are going to be on first and second for Parker. Madeline Parker's 0 for 1 this afternoon. She's grounded out on her only appearance at the plate this evening. She will try to extend this inning for her squad with runners on first and second. And that one's going to be tipped and fouled. That one's going to go into the road behind Lynn Cottrell Park. Counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch from Davis. That one's going to be high and outside, but the pickoff attempt there at first. Count's going to be 1-1 for Parker. Columbus State now matching North Georgia in hits. Both teams with 2 apiece. And the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be outside. Counts 2-1. Again, the North Georgia faithful here thought that was going to be a 1-2 count. But the count is 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch to Corbin. That one's going to be a ball as well. Outside of the zone. Counts now 3-1. And we can see some pitchers in the North Georgia bullpen getting warmed up. And the 3-1 pitch to Parker. That one's going to be high and outside. So the bases are loaded for Columbus State. And here comes Hannah Rose Corbin. And so Coach Davenport and his squad are going to talk things over here. As Nighthawks are in dangerous territory with the bases loaded and Hannah Rose Corbin up to bat. We mentioned earlier, Corbin has been an all-star for this Columbus State squad. Whether she's been pitching or batting for the Cougars, she has been stellar. She's got 10 home runs and 35 RBIs with a .465 batting average.
Number 18, Hannah Rose Corbin.
That batting average is 4th best in the Peach Belt Conference. She sits behind Sydney Blair, who's in first. And that pitch from Davis is going to be in the dirt. But no runners will advance for Columbus State. Everybody stays put. Counts 1-0 for Corbin. Got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Bases loaded. This will be a huge out here for Davis. She's able to win this battle. But that pitch is going to be outside. Count moves to 2-0. So North Georgia looking for a strikeout or a pop fly here. Cannot afford another walk. And the 2-0 pitch from Davis. And that one's going to be outside of the zone as well. Counts 3-0. So another ball here from Kristen Davis would put a run on the board for Columbus State. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. And that one's going to be inside for a strike. Nice rebound pitch there from Davis. Pushes the count to 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch to Corbin. She swings and misses on that one. So now the count is full for Corbin. And a big pitch coming up here for Kristen Davis. Corbin shows bunt. Here comes the full count pitch. And that one's going to be outside of the zone, and so that's going to put a run on the board for Columbus State. And Corbin with the great play discipline there, winning the pitcher-on-pitcher matchup. It's now a 2-1 ball game. North Georgia still on top, but Columbus State keeping this one a close game. And that pitch from Davis to Ambrose is going to be a strike. Counts 0-1. Ambrose 0 for 2 this evening. She grounded out in her last appearance at the plate. She shows bunt here. She pulls back for a timeout. Again, this is just game one of our doubleheader between these two teams. The 0-1 pitch. And a nice pitch from Kristen Davis pushes this to an 0-2 count. Another big pitch coming up from Kristen Davis, trying to leave runners stranded on all three bases. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that one's going to be high and outside, counts 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch to Ambrose. She tips this one fouled over the Nighthawks dugout. So the count stays at 1-2. And Ambrose has got Harris on deck. Ambrose showing bunt. And she pulls back the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be low and just outside of the corner of the zone. Counts 2-2. And yet again, as Cooper would say, deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that one's going to cut it close to Ambrose. And now the count is full. Another huge pitch coming up for Kristen Davis. And another ball would tie this game up at 2 apiece. And the full count pitch. And that one's going to be right down the middle for the strikeout. And so Kristen Davis letting North Georgia keep their lead in this one. It's a 2-1 ball game. Nighthawks on top as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Moore's Lumber and Hardware has proudly served the homeowners and pro contractors of North Georgia since 1946. Located in Dahlonega, our covered drive-through lumber yard provides customers with both quality products and services. Rains Grading, a licensed excavating contractor located in Lumpkin County, provides both commercial and residential grading, hauling, and paving to the North Georgia area.
Back with you here in Dahlonega. So we're in the middle of the 5th inning stretch. And it's a 2-1 ball game. North Georgia on top, as Columbus State was able to get an unearned run on the board after bases were loaded. So we'll see how the Nighthawks respond here. And the Swiss Army knife, Sophie Mooney, is going to lead things off for North Georgia. Mooney, the designated hitter for the Nighthawks this afternoon. She's 0 for 1 today, so she'll be looking to get her bat warmed up here. And North Georgia's looking to extend their win streak to 40 today with back-to-back wins against the Cougars. And Mooney sees a ball go past her there. The count's 1-0. And offensively, this has been a rather quiet game from both teams, each with 2 hits apiece. And that pitch from Corbin's going to be outside. Counts 2-0. As we mentioned earlier, with the lack of pitchers on this Columbus State team, would not be surprised to see Corbin see some more action today. And now it's going to be grounded to the short. The throw to first is going to be there on time, bringing us to the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. And here comes Hannah Forehand stepping into the batter's box for North Georgia. She's grounded out and been walked in her 2 appearances at the plate this evening. She was struck out, caught swinging. And that one's going to be inside of the zone for a strike. Counts 0-1. And Forehand, probably the most power on this North Georgia squad, always shows bunt. She typically pulls back as she does there. And they're going to say she swung with that, so the count's going to be 0-2. Forehand again, shows bunt. And the 0-2 pitch. Now it's going to be high and outside. Count moves to 1-2 for Hannah Forehand. She's got Sinkfield on deck. And the 1-2 pitch to Forehand. Now it's going to be outside as well. It's now a 2-2 count. And doesn't look like we're going to get the double P signs or perhaps the double bunny ears on this Easter Sunday from the home plate ump. And the 2-2 pitch, that one's going to be grounded down the left field line into foul territory. Count stays at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch to Forehand. That one's going to be low and outside. So Forehand now finds herself in a full count. We'll see if she can win this matchup against Corbin. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be grounded to the short. With a nice fielding there from the shortstop Parker. She cannot make the throw to first in time, though. So Forehand's able to get to first, and here comes Olivia Sinkfield. Sinkfield getting the first hit for North Georgia in this one. She's also scored a run when she's been on base as well. And that pitch is going to hit Sinkfield. So now runners are going to be on first and second for Sydney Blair. Blair was walked in her first appearance at the plate this evening. Or both appearances at the plate for Sydney Blair, she's been walked. I think Corbin's looking for a different outcome here, as a walk would load the bases for Mariah Wicker. And so Corbin with a tough matchup here in Blair, as we mentioned earlier. The leader in the Peach Belt Conference in batting average with a .468. And the 1-0 pitch to Blair. She bunts here. And that's going to be fouled up the left field line. Count moves to 1-1. So just one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Runners on to first and second for North Georgia. Sydney Blair with a chance to extend the Nighthawks' lead. Try to blow this game open. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Now it's going to be high and outside. Counts 2-1. This game has very much been about the pitching so far through the first 5 innings. And the 2-1 pitch to Blair. That one's going to be outside as well. So it's going to be a 3-1 count for Sydney Blair. And another ball here from Corbin, as we mentioned earlier, would load the bases for Mariah Wicker. But Blair's going to swing and miss on that one. So now the count is full for the freshman. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be fouled up the left field line. Looked like Harris over there on third was trying to make a play on it. But the North Georgia faithful here was ready to let the umps know that that one was fouled up the left field line. So the count's still full for Sydney Blair. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be outside. And so again, for this North Georgia team, bases are loaded. Mariah Wicker up to bat. Wicker's been walked and been struck out as well in this game. Got one out in the bottom of the fifth. Bases loaded at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. And Mariah swings and misses on that one. Counts 0-1. And Mariah doesn't need to kill it here. She can just get something down in the outfield. The 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be inside. So now Wicker finds herself in a quick 0-2 count. And the 0-2 pitch to Mariah is going to be way outside. Count moves to 1-2. North Georgia looking to capitalize here with the bases loaded. Just one out in the bottom of the fifth. Georgia Blair's on deck. And the 1-2 pitch to Wicker. That one's going to be grounded to the short, and she's going to fumble that one. And so that's going to put another run up on the board for the Nighthawks. And the tag out at home is going to bring us to 2 outs, but not before North Georgia can add another run on the board. And Coach Davenport's going to try to plead his case here. He thought that the catcher, Kaiser, was in the way. And so Wicker was able to score the runner on third. So the Nighthawks are going to be up 3-1. But it looked like Kaiser may have gotten in the way of another North Georgia run going up on the board. But that's going to take us to the 6th, where the Nighthawks are up 3-1 at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. And you're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
This news will bowl you over. If you like Captain D's seafood, you'll love it in our new Big Catch Bowls. With 3 flavor pack options to choose from, Big Catch Bowls are a big hit. It's better in a bowl when the captain is called Captain D's.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's a 3-1 ball game. North Georgia on top. And now pitching for the Nighthawks is Delaney Heberlin, coming in for relief of Kristen Davis, who through 5 innings of softball has allowed just 1 run for the Cougars and 2 hits. Now it's going to be popped up into right foul territory, with Harris up to bat for the Cougars. Harris has been walked, and she's got a hit in this one as well. And the 0-2 pitch to Harris, that one's going to be over the head of forehand, but the throw from Wicker to first is not going to be there on time. Great effort there from Mariah Wicker. Unfortunately, she was not able to get the throw to first on time, and so it's going to put a runner on first base for Bayer.
Number 24, Kenzie Bayer.
And Delaney Heberlin this season with a 1.27 ERA. She's pitched just over 70 innings for North Georgia. She's allowed 51 hits, 12 runs scored. She's also struck out 50 batters as well, holding her opponents to a 200 batting average. And the 1-0 pitch to Bayer is going to be outside. Count's going to move to 2-0. And this has been a tightly contested game here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill, as most expected, between the top 2 teams in the Peach Belt Conference. And it looks like the trainer is going to have a look here at Maddie Perry. Was not able to see exactly what transpired there, to her stepping off for a moment. Perry's going to return back to shortstop. She looks to be okay. And so we will resume play here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. And with 38 consecutive wins for the Nighthawks this season, you start to get flashbacks from their 51-game winning streak from 2009 NCAA Division II Net Championship, as that one's going to be over the wall, and a 2-run bomb from Columbus State is going to put them up here in this ball game. They're going to go up, or they're going to tie this ball game at 3-3. And so that 2-run bomb over the right field wall from Bayer makes this a 3-3 ball game at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. And so still no outs in the bottom of the sixth. Miller now up to bat for the Cougars. And that pitch from Heberlin's going to be high and outside. Count moves to 1-0. So the Cougars were right on the heels of the Nighthawks, and here they come, tying this ball game up late in the bottom of the sixth. And that pitch from Heberlin's going to be inside, counts 1-1. North Georgia with a lot of experienced pitchers in their bullpen in Davis and Heberlin, both juniors on this North Georgia squad. Counts 2-1 for Miller. And the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be high and outside, and so it's a 3-1 count. Miller's got Kaiser on deck. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Heberlin. That's going to be ball number 4. So that's going to put Miller on first. And Kaiser now up to bat. And it looks like this North Georgia infield is going to talk things over here on the mound. Try to calm down Heberlin. As we were just mentioning, the 38 consecutive wins for the Nighthawks this season. Starting to get flashbacks to their 51-game winning streak from the 2009 NCAA Division II Championship all the way to the exact same event in 2010. North Georgia softball never lost a game. After a 41-0 regular season, Coach Davenport and his squad kept their foot on the gas in the postseason, earning 10 more consecutive wins in the playoffs. And with the second longest streak in college softball history, it's one of the most iconic storylines at UNG, and this team is forever etched into the history books. Now it's going to be bunted. Heads up play from Mixon. Makes a throw to first on time for out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th. But that's going to advance Miller to second. And so now Cooper is coming up to bat here for Columbus State. And it looks like the Cougars are going to have a pinch runner. And so Sorrell is going to hop on second for Columbus State. Cooper's 0 for 2 this evening. She's looking for her first hit of the afternoon. And she grounds this one, and the Nighthawks able to make the play there, and that throw gets over the head of Mixon, but heads up play there and left from Lester to make sure that that runner on third did not advance home. So the Nighthawks able to make the play there at first. Mixon heads up there, saw that the bunt from Cooper was coming. And that's going to be a strike. Counts 0-1 for Kennedy. And the 0-1 pitch from Heberlin. That one's going to be outside. Counts 1-1. Heberlin trying to leave that pinch runner for Columbus State stranded over there on third. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, but that one's going to hit Kennedy in the foot. And so now runners are going to be on the corners for Columbus State, and Parker now up to bat for the Cougars. Parker's been walked twice in this game, and she's also grounded out. We'll see what she can do here with runners on the corners, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And that pitch from Heberlin's going to be right down the middle for a strike. Counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch from Heberlin. She's going to get Parker swinging and missing on that one. Counts 0-2. Yes, North Georgia defense trying to hold the Cougars scoreless. Prevent them from putting any more runs on the board here in the top of the 6th. After that 2-run bomb. Tying this game up at 3 apiece. Counts 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be outside. So yet again, Deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And this has been a tightly contested game so far at Haynes and Carolyn Hill, as that pitch from Heberlin's going to be right down the middle for out number 3, taking us to the bottom of the 6th, where it's a tied ball game. We'll see how the Nighthawks respond when we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
She has her whole life in front of her and already has a world-class heart team behind her. And so does every generation of her family, thanks to Georgia Heart Institute. Every day, our cardiologists, heart surgeons, and vascular surgeons bring breakthroughs that save and improve lives for generations. So whether you need heart care today or in 2073, we'll be here with the very best for your heart. Georgia Heart Institute.
Meet Harper. Harper was born to care and always had your back. Like the time she spotted a friend's rogue retainer, a threat of a permanent overbite, and made the save just in time.
I got you. Thanks.
Today, Harper still has your back as a teammate at Truist, the bank with Truist One checking.
I got you. Thanks.
With no overdraft fees, a negative balance buffer, and automatic upgrades, it's the checking account that has your back.
Back with you here in Dahlonega. We've got a great one at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. It's a 3-3 ball game between the top 2 teams in the Peach Belt Conference. Georgia Blair is going to lead things off for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the 6th. And Blair, so far in this one, has been walked. She's grounded out as well, but she's got an RBI under her belt as well, looks like. And that pitch is going to be high and outside. Count's going to be 1-0. Cougars still rolling with Corbin on the mound. As we mentioned earlier, would not be surprised to see Corbin see some action pitching for Columbus State in Game 2. The 1-0 pitch to Blair is going to cut it close, so it's going to be a 2-0 count. And the 2-0 pitch to Blair, also going to be high and outside. So the count's 3-0. Do not expect to see Blair swing here. Nighthawks with just 3 hits so far in this game, a bit uncharacteristic for them. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Mound's going to be inside. Count moves to 3-1 after that strike from Corbin. Blair's got Mixon on deck. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And she's going to swing hard and miss on that one. So now Georgia Blair finds herself in a full count. And the full count pitch. Now it's going to be inside for strike number 3. Bringing us to the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. And here comes Gracie Mixon. Mixon has been walked and struck out in her 2 appearances at the plate this evening for the Nighthawks. And game number 2 for our doubleheader today was aiming for a 6 p.m. start time. Of course, that is not going to happen as we have already passed 6 o'clock, 6:07 here in Dahlonega, Georgia. So game number 2, we'll look for a later start time as the Cougars are having a quick conversation here on the mound between Corbin and Kaiser. We'll see what the junior Gracie Mixon can do here. With 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, no runners on for the Nighthawks. And that pitch from Corbin's going to be outside. It's a 1-0 count for Gracie Mixon. Mixon, a junior out of Canton, Georgia. Another veteran player on this Nighthawk squad. And the 1-0 pitch to Mixon. She's going to ground this one up to second. And the throw to first is going to be on time for out number 2. And the Nighthawks return to the top of their batting order with Jolie Lester stepping into the batter's box for North Georgia. Lester's got a hit in her 3 appearances at the plate for the Nighthawks. She struck out and grounded out as well. She sees a ball go past her there. Counts 1-0. Cougars looking for a quick 3 up, 3 down here to take us to the 7th. We'll see if Jolie Lester has other plans. And the 1-0 pitch, she grounds this one right back to Corbin, and she'll make the throw to first well on time for out number 3. And that's going to take us to the top of the 7th, where it is still a tied ball game, 3-3 at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story. we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium at Lynn Cottrell Park, where it's a tied ball game between the top two teams in the Peach Belt Conference, North Georgia and Columbus State, tied at 3 runs apiece, with Hannah Rose Corbin leading things off for the Cougars. In the top of the 7th, she sees a strike go by her there from Delaney Heberlin, counts 0-1. And a ball pitch there from Heberlin is going to push the count to 1-1. These are two teams with a deep history. Last season, North Georgia and Columbus State facing off in the Peach Belt Conference Championship, where the Nighthawks took down the Cougars 8-0 after 5 innings. In 5 innings after Columbus State came off of a barn burner in extra innings against Lander. And that win for North Georgia was their 8th consecutive PBC championship title and led them to clinching their 14th consecutive trip to the NCAA Southeast Regional. Now it's going to be grounded right back to Heberlin, and she'll make a great play fielding it there, throwing it to sink field at first for out number 1 in the top of the 7th. And so North Georgia doing a great job of making quick work of Corbin. And that's going to bring up Ambrose. I was looking for her first hit of the evening. She shows bunt here, pulls back, and Heberlin throws one right down the middle for a strike, counts 0-1. Nighthawks, of course, with the advantage being the home team. And so even if Columbus State is able to take the lead here in the top of the 7th, North Georgia will have the chance to respond in the bottom of the 7th. And counts 1-1 for Ambrose. She shows bunt. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Now it's going to be outside. Counts 2-1. Heberlin's trying to get a quick 3 up, 3 down here to give her squad a chance to get the walk-off win in the bottom of the 7th. The count's going to be 3-1 for Ambrose, and we mentioned earlier, North Georgia, with their coming off their toughest matchup of the season against the 5th-ranked team in the nation, Alabama Huntsville, but it's looking like this matchup with Columbus State proving to be a bit tougher than that one. Count's now full for Ambrose as the Cougars look for the upset against the number 1 ranked team in Division II softball. And the full count pitch. That one's going to be hit into center field, and that's going to be a base hit for Ambrose, as that one gets over the head of forehand. And so now Harris is going to step into the batter's box for Columbus State. Laura Harris has seen the most success at the plate for Columbus State today. She's 2 for 2. Of course, Bayer as well, seen success at the plate for the Cougars with that 2-run bomb over to right field, which tied this ball game up in the top of the 6th. And the 1-0 pitch, going to be outside, and pickoff attempt there over at first. So the count's 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch. Now it's going to be grounded, and a great fielding there from Perry. She's unable to make the throw to second in time. So that one got over the head of Mixon. So that's going to put runners on first and second for Bayer. So the Nighthawks in dangerous territory here. Bayer had that 2-run bomb to right to tie this ball game up in the top of the 6th. And it looks like Columbus State's going to have a pinch runner on second. It's going to be Anna Waits. So Bayer in the batter's box for the Cougars. Columbus State with a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game. But Delaney Heberlin throwing a strike there. Counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, that one's going to get down, and that one's going to be fumbled by Perry. And so now bases are loaded as Bayer stays hot here. And now Sorrell is going to get a crack at it for Columbus State.
Number 27, Brooke Miller.
Or Brooke Miller, in the batter's box for Columbus State. Got the bases loaded, 1 out in the top of the 7th, and she swings and misses on that one. It has been a terrific game so far at Haynes and Carolyn Hill, and we've still got game number 2 coming up for you. And that's going to be a swing and a miss from Miller. Count moves to 0-2. Or 1-1, excuse me. And the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be outside. Count's now 1-2. It was 0-2 prior to that pitch. Miller showing bunt. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that's going to be in for strike number 3. Heberlin with the big strikeout there. But the bases are still loaded for Columbus State. Grace Kaiser now up to bat for the Cougars. Kaiser's grounded out, struck out, and been walked in this one. And the 1-0 pitch to Kaiser, that one's going to be in the dirt. Kaiser signaling to her runner on third to stay put. Counts 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch to Kaiser. That one's going to be outside. Counts 3-0. And another ball pitch from Delaney Heberlin. It's going to give Columbus State the lead, their first lead of the evening, with the bases loaded. Here comes a 3-0 pitch. And that one's going to be down the middle for a strike. Nice comeback pitch there from Delaney Heberlin. Makes this a 3-1 count. And the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be popped high and into foul territory. And so now the biggest pitch of the evening coming up here. It's a full count for Kaiser, bases are loaded in the top of the 7th. And the full count pitch from Heberlin. And they're going to call that as ball number 4, which is going to give Columbus State the lead on the unearned run. And the North Georgia faithful here is quite upset with that call from the home plate ump. And from our vantage point, it looked like it could have gone either way, but the home plate ump with a huge call there, calling that one ball number 4. And so Columbus State takes the lead on the number 1 team in the nation. So the bases stay loaded. Cooper up to bat for the Cougars. And that's going to be a strike there from Heberlin. And the North Georgia faithful is letting this ump hear it. So the count's 0-1 for Cooper. Comes the 0-1 pitch. And that one's going to be low for a ball, 1-1. Well, that's a tough call to make if you're the home plate ump, being put in that situation. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that one's going to be outside for a ball, counts 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch from Heberlin. That one's going to be grounded, and Mixon will make the throw to first on time for out number 3. And that's going to take us to the bottom of the 7th, where Columbus State leads this one 4-3. The Nighthawks with a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th when we return. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Bryan Properties is a commercial real estate brokerage firm serving Northeast Georgia. Located in nearby Cumming, Georgia, Bryan Properties specializes in commercial real estate along the Georgia 400 corridor. For more information on Bryan Properties, visit bryanproperties.net. The UNG bookstore is operated by Barnes & Noble and is located in the Chastity Building beside Starbucks in downtown Dahlonega. Fans and students can visit in person or online at ung.bncollege.com for all your Nighthawk apparel and textbook needs for the upcoming season.
Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium at Lynn Cottrell Park, where it's a 4-3 ball game. The Cougars are on top in the bottom of the 7th. North Georgia with an opportunity to take this one to extra innings or potentially walk it off. Maddie Perry's going to lead things off for the Nighthawks, and North Georgia's guaranteed to see Perry, Mooney, and forehand at the plate here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if Mooney can mount the small comeback here. And she sees a ball go by her there. The count's 1-0. And North Georgia has held the historical advantage over the Cougars with a 30-9 all-time record, but that does not seem to matter here, especially this season with the top 2 teams in the Peach Belt Conference. Perry tips this one fouled, counts 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch to Perry. That one's going to be inside for a strike. Counts 1-2. Columbus State looking for the biggest upset of the season. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be outside for a ball. Counts 2-2. Again, North Georgia's got Sophie Mooney on deck, followed by Hannah Forehand. And the 2-2 pitch to Perry. That one's going to be grounded to the short. And the throw to first is going to be there on time for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. And here comes Sophie Mooney. We mentioned time and time again, Mooney, the Swiss Army knife for this North Georgia squad. She's been terrific at the plate for the Nighthawks with a .452 batting average and 40 RBIs and 56 hits. She sees a strike go by her there. The count's 0-1. A 38-game win streak on the line here for the Nighthawks. And the 0-1 pitch to Mooney, going to be outside, counts 1-1. Mooney leading this team with 56 hits coming into this game. We'll see what the transfer out of Georgia State can do here. The 1-1 pitch, that one's going to be grounded to the second baseman, and the throw to second is well on time, and so the Nighthawks down to their final out here in the bottom of the 7th. And here comes Hannah Forehand. Luckily for North Georgia, this is just the player that Coach Davenport wants to see in this situation. And that one's going to get popped up into right or left center, and that's going to be a base hit for Hannah Forehand as she slides into second. And so the Nighthawks are still alive here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. Runners on second for Olivia Sinkfield.
Number 44, Olivia Sinkfield.
And so the Nighthawks are still alive. Here a home run from Sinkfield would give the Nighthawks the walk-off victory. Here comes the pitch to Sinkfield. That one's going to be grounded to the short, and the throw to first is going to be there on time. And Columbus State with the upset over the number 1 ranked team in the nation, North Georgia, as the Cougars take the win here in Game 1 of our doubleheader. And the 38-game winning streak for the Nighthawks comes to an end. And that will do it for us here in Game 1 of our doubleheader. Your final score, 4-3, Columbus State with the upset. Make sure to stick around as Game 2 of our doubleheader against the Cougars is just around the corner. A big thanks to the Nighthawk Sports Network crew working behind the scenes to make this one possible. This is Robert DiClemente saying thanks so much for watching. Again, your final score from Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium is 4-3. We'll be back shortly for Game 2 between North Georgia and Columbus State. Until then, we'll be back real soon.